Oh yeah, that guy. That's what I'm saying. Like, you'll see. I've got a little bit of a clip show for us tonight because I want to at least just kind of go over this. So without further ado, never forget. Sorry, I can't laugh at all. I've got to be like, this is super serious. I'm trying to be. We're trying to do a respectful ceremony for the two things that have been lost, that are gone too soon: the World Trade Center and some weird Nazi guy taken too soon. Because like Charlie Kirk is younger. He was younger than me, so I mean, at least I could say I outlived one enemy. But let's go ahead and we'll start off with the first thing I have for us is a clip. This one is actually from like another. This is kind of like a little bit of a compilation before we get to the actual specific clips that I have of him today. But oh, did it not? Is it not playing audio? Hold on. I can get us audio.
I believe marriage is between one man and one woman.
Charlie Kirk has been fatally shot while speaking at a university in Utah. The conservative activist and Trump ally was shot moments after answering a question about trans school shooters. Videos circulating online show an attendee asking Kirk, "Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years? To which he responds with, "Too many." A study from the Violence Prevention Project found that less than 1% of school shootings in the U.S. were carried out.
This is the crazy thing, is that right now we're going with this weird narrative from right-wingers where they're acting like trans people are violent or known for like doing acts of violence, but it's males, and I'm gonna guess that 99% of those males are white males too. As you can see, we're not even to the point to where like you can say 1% is trans. Even like it adds up to more than 100 just to say that, yeah, trans people are here technically.
By transgender individuals. But where did Charlie Kirk stand on LGBTQ plus issues? At the
They're gonna rapid fire us right now.
USA, a conservative activist group known for his series of Prove Me Wrong debates, recorded live at left-leaning universities across the US, at which LGBTQ plus issues would often be discussed.
Puberty is not the problem. Puberty is the solution to the trans issue.
Charlie would often debate queer college students on the topic of being transgender, making his stance explicitly clear.
You're lying to yourself and lying to other people that you could become something other than what you are born.
He has also been vocal.
And I'm like, not gonna lie, like if you watch videos, because we're not gonna sit here and watch hours of Charlie Kirk debates with college kids, but if you look in there, you're gonna see a lot of our community in the people that he is trying to like humiliate. Because ultimately, a lot of the people who are going to come up and confront him on a college campus were people who weren't always like the most informed people. It was like people going like, "Hey, why would you be anti-gay? That's weird." And then he has like a whole intricate thing he gets into about why he's anti-gay, and their whole, I mean, ultimately they're thinking, "Why do you hate, like you're a weird little guy who needs empathy?" Like, which we'll get more into the empathy part, because that's just something that Charlie Kirk doesn't think is something that people should have had.
With same-sex marriage.
I believe marriage is between one man and one woman.
Charlie's views extended to LGBTQ plus rights.
We must ban trans-affirming care the entire country. I think that monogamous heterosexual marriage should be a prerequisite to adoption.
Following Charlie's shooting, 2 people were arrested and later released. At present, no other suspects have been arrested, and the Department of Public Safety say the shooting is still an active investigation.
Okay.
Hello. Oh.
So this is actually the last video that got posted to his YouTube channel for what I'm gathering. It's wild too, because the person who debates him doesn't want to show his face. So it's kind of wild that somebody who doesn't want to be known for being in a video is gonna be in the last video that
Respectful, guys.
he ends
Do
up
what he
being.
wants.
But this just gives you a show like of how even to the end he's fighting on these racial issues. These aren't things that he changed his
I
opinion
think you're a
on.
very beautiful man. I admire you physically. But, no homo. No homo. No homo. I did have a question.
I
Something
don't
know
think
I
that
heard
Charlie
interesting
Kirk is an
about you,
attractive
something I
man,
might have
or
proposed.
was an
I
attractive man.
believe you said that the Civil Rights Act was bad and that we shouldn't have that.
Okay. Well,
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't like you as much as Charlie, though.
First of all, what's your name?
Sorry. I don't want to be like filmed and stuff.
Too late.
I'm anonymous, number one. Anonymous guy.
Okay. Well, hello. Nice to meet you, anonymous guy.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. I believe in part of the essence of the Civil Rights Act went.
He
way
really
too far, way
does.
too
He
wide.
needs like a hat. Honestly, a hat would help
Well,
him
for
a
example,
lot.
create an entire
Or just a
civil
different
rights Leviathan that gave
hairstyle,
us affirmative
something.
action.
Civil Rights Leviathan? What do you mean?
Yeah, so if you can let me finish three
Okay,
words
oh,
in.
sorry.
It allowed the Department of Justice to go after people that have different skin color, aka white people, and prevent them from getting jobs in college admissions.
You have a job.
I'm sorry?
You have a job.
No, you're right, I do. Right. But just until Trump came around, until the Supreme Court decision, thanks to the Civil Rights Act,
It's so easy to become a podcaster
Oh,
with
shit.
Riverside. You just need a concept and a
They're gonna
way
make
to
us watch
market it.
ads through this. My
Here's how
B,
it
holy
works.
shit! I have
First, go
another
to
browser that does ad
riverside.fm
block, but
and
I'm not
open
in
it.
that right now.
if you have white skin color, it's much harder to get into a college than if someone has black skin color. Much harder. You have to get higher test scores. It's a much harder pool, largely thanks to the precedent set by the Civil Rights Act. Not to mention all the trans stuff that we're seeing. We're seeing men be able to win trophies and medals from women.
Show
across the
me.
country when they use the Civil
It's
Rights
like
Act
hey, it's like you can't even have a conversation with someone who starts the conversation with men or in women's sports. There's objectively nothing in any definition has any men in any women's sports. No one supports that. No one, period, across the board supports that at all. Now, most normal people are okay with all women in all forms being able to compete in sports, and that's fine. Their problem is that they don't want trans women, and they try to. And every time the conversation is structured or set up in this way that trans women are men, that's the whole why you can't even have the conversation with them, because they won't even present it in a way that's not invalidating or trying to be disgusting towards people. Because when you set the conversation up like that, you've already dehumanized.
Okay, I think I see where you're coming from. So you think that it's harder for white people because of black people they could have lower tech scores again? And
It's
because
not what I think. It's
okay,
the fact.
that's what you're saying. Okay, all right. Well, I guess what I would say too. I think perhaps you're familiar with the term equity, right? Where different
so, like,
people have
obviously-
different,
Yeah, it's
circumstances,
It's
which leads them to
Marxism.
different outcomes.
I reject.
This guy who wants to remain anonymous to be the most well-known of all Charlie's interviews because the last of Charlie on his channel. Anyone else wondering if this guy is the shooter? The guy talking about political violence the day before the shooting. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe we have to watch this whole video.
Okay, well, whether you reject it or not, I think it's a prescient concept in this argument. Because what you have to understand is that when you're, for example, you're born in like a black neighborhood, you're born in like O Block or something, like a very, like a, oh, you don't know what O Block is? Oh, well, if you're born there, if you're born in a very poor area like that, with like very low economic opportunity, very, very poor schools or very low ratings, where the average test score is much lower, when you're in that environment, you have the whole system up against you, right? So when you say in that kind of circumstance, when you're facing the whole, I guess, leviathan of systemic racism,
So-
would you say that's, sorry, let me just finish it. When you say it's fair to, for example, lower the standard because knowing that their circumstances were like that, perhaps based on what they had, what was presented to them, they had the correct amount of merit to get into a school.
Okay, so are you a student here? I'm guessing you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm a student here.
Are you a pretty good student?
Oh, yeah, I would say I'm a good student. I have a pretty high GPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give your GPA to her because she's a woman of color, please?
Oh, well, you want me to give you a, well, I mean, I can.
Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, sure, sure.
You'd be good. You cool
Such
with
a
that?
weird
Yeah,
argument,
wait,
too.
wait, you mean,
I want you.
Like tell her or like
No,
give it to her?
by force.
Like
So
we're swapping it.
let me tell you what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
By force, white man.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna take your GPA. I'm gonna give it to a woman of color.
Okay.
You're cool with that?
I mean, yeah, I can just work back up. Like,
No, there's no working back up.
No, that's
I can put
immediately what the
myself on
comments
my
on the
bootstrap.
YouTube are
There's no
saying
working
was
back
he
up.
the
There's no working
shooter.
back up. That's
But
not
I don't know. I don't know if that
I'm
looks
gonna-
like
I'm
the
gonna keep on
person
telling
who's
you. No,
the
I can
picture
do.
that's going
And you're
around.
cool with that.
What? But
Because
that's not
this is
equity.
equity in practice.
Equity isn't taken. Equity is
But
given.
it is kind of that's like everyone in the comments is debating exactly that because of the fact that it was the last video posted.
Applying the equal standard.
If you give, how do you get? You must take, and then you give.
Wait, what do you mean?
That which is given must
Hello,
first be
Zoe.
taken.
Well, what's being taken?
Well, in this case, grades from you to grades
But
to her.
no one's taking my grades though. That's not what affirmative
it's
action
called.
is.
Well, hold on a
No one
second.
takes your grades.
Hold on a second. If you
Yeah,
only have
yeah,
so many,
oh.
you only have so many positions at University of South Florida to come in, right? There's a set number. Let's say it's 20,000 people, okay? And we're gonna say we're gonna lower the test standards so that somebody that's a woman of color can come in, and therefore it's harder for you. So it's a higher bar for you, lower bar for them. Definitionally, that's a redistribution of test scores to somebody else, just by the definition. And you're okay with that?
Well, I guess I would ask then, if we were to do what you're doing, I guess that's what's happening under Trump, right?
Well, no, it's actually been happening the last 40 years.
Okay,
yeah.
actually, yeah, whatever. Okay, so when you say that, if you do that, then, well, black people aren't going to get into school, and then they won't be able to uplift themselves, they won't be able to have prosperous families, they won't be able to, equalize the economic status.
See, here's my thing: is I literally only put this in here because it was a recent, like it was the most recent clip, and it was like showing how he's kind of fought for racial inequality till the day he died. I mean, we'll see, we'll read out the quote that he said when he was shot, because he said something disgusting while he was being shot too. So his last words on Earth were foul. Like, I mean, it really comes down to that. Now, the downside, like I keep on, I kind of want to keep reiterating, and we'll come back to, is the fact that there is a start of political violence is probably not good. Like, just because someone deserves to not be here, because like I would say, in the same way you can like make the whole argument that like America deserved 9/11 and that whole thing, he probably deserved this to happen. But it does normalize a sense of violence in the country that could be bad, especially since the immediate reaction is to blame it on people on the left. The immediate reaction is to say, we now need to fight people on the left, and this is war. Now, it's also hard to know how serious people are because they've kind of threatened to go to war over a lot of things over the last decade. I mean, Aunt Jemima just changing like the packaging, like they've gone crazy over everything and threatened civil war over everything. So it's really hard to tell when everyone's calling for war on the right all the time, over and over and over again, when they're normally the main aggressors over and over again as well.
Need to give him a little jump start. You know what? You have a car, right?
How is that? How is that? Well, no, now I know who you are.
No, it's good.
But no, how has that worked the last 40 years? We've had robust affirmative action.
No.
We've had hiring practices. Has it made Black America more successful?
I can answer that easily. It's because sorry. It's because sorry. What am I going for? Oh,
I don't
sorry.
know.
You're a funny guy. So what happened is, even after the Civil Rights Act, you know what I believe the term is massive resistance. It was a movement in after the Brown versus Board of Education in Virginia, where essentially the legislature, which was still white supremacist, which is still extremely racist, they decided that no, we're going to do everything that feasibly possible within our means to stop black people from going to white schools. You even see this in I believe it was the Little Rock Nine, right? Even after it was legalized at the state level, white supremacist mobs still mobilized to prevent it. So even if it de facto it's gone, de jure it still exists.
Let me ask you a very simple question.
Which is true. No, he's actually got a good point.
Got you.
What is racism?
What is racism? Ooh, that's a very complicated question. But
no, it's not.
I mean, there's a simple answer, and then there's the highly theoretical answer.
Give me the simple.
The simple answer will essentially be because.
Well, why is he acting like it is a complex
we have, like, different
situation?
skin colors that he's treated a different way than me. He has like a different.
Well, there's like person-to-person racism, but that's not really like we've changed the definition of the word racism to encompass racism against white people and against but ultimately racism is supposed to be a word that prefaces that there's like a class, there's a systematic oppression involved with it. Because like the first time that we were really defining racism in these ways was like to describe what the Nazis were doing.
To me,
No. But what is
he's subjected to
racism
different,
in practice?
it's discrimination
Based on the color of the skin.
Based on the color of the skin, yeah.
Got it. Thank you. So isn't it racist then to penalize white people to come into college or to get jobs based on the color of their skin?
Well, no.
Wouldn't that be racist? So you're arguing for a very racist policy, which is that we should actively discriminate against people based on the color of their skin, which is affirmative action in DEI in practice.
I just disagree with the premise that you can do like anti-white racism because
Wait, can you be racist against white people?
No.
No, bro, I'm a cracker, bro. What the no, you can't be racist towards white. Bro, there's so many crackers here.
Fucking
bro.
Hasanabi fucking take right there. That's a fucking Hasanabi head right there. Immediate response. Can you be racist? I'm a cracker, man.
But I was surprised with how much they were able to do with their first foray into tech.
Well, what you gonna do political violence to me, bro? Like, why are you saying that to me? You're making me scared. Okay.
So let me tell you what.
Oh, is that what the comments were talking about? The political violence comment?
Indistinguishable from the KKK. That you want to organize the world based on skin color. We want to organize the world based on merit and character, based on how hard you work, what you bring to the table. I believe it's destructive and wrong to say that people are going to be organized or have their future set based on the color of their skin. I think it's tribalistic. I think it is divisive, and I think it hurts the excellence of a country. You asked a question, well, how are we going to help other communities? You know how you help other communities? Stop pandering to them and start treating them like individuals made in the image of God, not tribes to be organized for political purposes.
Okay, so do you think, like, when Trump is
I mean, that's a lot of, like, why we have to do these things to offset racism. Things haven't, like, completely offset to normal. There's people who had generational wealth for, I mean, years, for several different generations. And then all of a sudden you have freed slaves who have to step out with nothing and go and grow up from the bottom. But like, that's why you have, you'll see, it's not always, you know, there's always the people who say that's not the case for everything. But when you look around you and you see your white friends, a lot of them have some random family member that's pretty wealthy. Even if it's lower class, there's always someone that when you talk about a very stereotypically white family, they always have that one person who can kind of be that bailout thing. And that doesn't necessarily happen the same way in black families. Like, there are sometimes those sources of money, but not as typically, because there's a lot more people who have familial ties way further back. And that's just from, well, if your family generationally has been free and owning property for years and years and years, the longer you hold on to property, the more that it's going to be worth. The more you are, in theory, worth, the more money you have, value you have. Sorry, that was a lot, but you know what I mean.
Now, because Trump is back, we're no longer pandering, right? Do you think that the conditions of black people, do you think O Block is going to become like a much nicer place? Do you think that these very downturned sort of black neighborhoods that have been sort of left behind, do you think they're going to become revitalized now? Is that what you think is going to happen?
Yeah, they'll do better for sure.
You think they're going to do better? Now that we've stopped helping them, they're going to do better.
Well, see, that's an interesting thing.
Because that seems like contradictory to me, just on basic logic.
Well, actually, black Americans under Donald Trump in the first term saw the greatest economic renaissance that they saw.
I think that it is actually normal and okay to celebrate, like, when people who are bad fall. I am not a fan of political violence. I'm not a fan of gun violence in the United States. The circumstances around it aren't great. If the dude had died of natural causes, it'd be a lot easier to cheer.
Talking about abortion. J.D. Vance recently mentioned, if a 13-year-old girl gets raped by her uncle, that abortion should be allowed. Do you think that the right wing should kind of moderate their views on no abortion ever to accommodate
the only exception would be life of the mother, which is a debated thing that even exists at all.
So the thing I wanted to say, to continue with that, is like, you lose a lot of voters when you say those kinds of things.
I couldn't care less. I'm going to say the truth. I'm not running for office.
You're not, but okay, so you're...
Like that
I
alone.
wanted to say, to continue with that, is like you lose a lot of votes. Kind of moderate their views on no abortion ever to accommodate
The only exception would be
You hear what he just said? That
abortion should be allowed.
if a 13-year-old girl is raped by her uncle, should she carry the baby? And he said yes. He danced around it a little bit, but like when you advocate for violence against your family, against people around you, it's hard to have much empathy, especially that kind of leads us into this next
Do you
clip.
think your child may have autism? It's important to act quickly. At Action Behavior Centers, we want to reduce barriers to diagnostic support.
The new communication strategy is not to do what Bill Clinton used to do, where he would say, I feel your pain. Instead, it is to say, you're actually not in pain. So let's just, very short clip. Bill Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that it does a lot of damage, but it is very effective when it comes to politics. Sympathy I prefer more than empathy. That's a separate topic for a different time.
So like, he is someone who actively advocated against empathy and doesn't think that people deserve that and that it's holding back our world. It's unfortunately he had kids. I would argue that no one takes that stance when a black guy goes to prison for his third strike for selling weed, and Charlie Kirk's media propaganda, I would argue, is far worse. Exactly. And that's like the thing is, I mean, I don't want to presume, because like, I mean, that's the thing. I don't actively advocate for violence. I don't think that violence is a good thing. I am not a person who's capable of that. But I do think that what he believed was beyond just opinions. It's like that's in the same way, because if you just say someone shouldn't die for their opinions, that's like saying that, I mean, would you say the same thing in regards to Hitler if he didn't kill himself and he was killed instead? Should we have not killed Osama bin Laden? What about... There's a lot of times that people die for their opinions, and I don't stop to feel bad for a lot of them. Like, as much as I don't condone the state of violence in the United States.
Now,
like,
we must also be real. We must be honest with the population. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price. And that is part of liberty. Driving comes with a price. 50,000 people die on the road every year.
So I think, like, and I think the thing about the kids is, like, it is sad that they had to be there. It's sad that they had to witness it. But in a weird way, it will make an impact on them to hopefully, like, move away from what he believed in this situation, because he was borderline Hitlerite in a lot of the things that he said. And I know it's like kind of, I feel like it's a little fucked up that Trump immediately is like, the left wants to call people like this a Nazi. And it's like, well, I wish that conservatives would stop acting like Hitler and instead of getting mad at people calling them Hitlerite.
Now, we must also be real.
But this was a stance on about gun control, because I support gun control. I don't think that I think we should be doing a lot more to not allow gun violence, and a big part of that is this specific university, Utah, allows for you to open carry at universities. That's not a typical thing that colleges allow. So it's like you're even in a place where like that's why it was so hard to find this person they still haven't found yet, is because the gun culture there is so wild that you walk outside and you're going to trip on a gun. They found a gun outside and we don't know if that's the shooters because there could just be a gun on the ground in the woods. Like, because it doesn't seem likely that, I think the first immediate gun they said they found that might be associated with it seemed unlikely that he'd be able to jump off a roof with it and get away. Like, I still feel like there's a chance that this isn't even political. Like, we don't know yet, but like we could find out in a couple days that this guy actually was killed because he fucked some dude's wife. Like, a lot of these things don't actually have anything to do with them personally. I saw somebody bring up the Shinzo Abe case, that even though Shinzo Abe was a fucked up person that basically deserved it, he got killed by some guy because he was associated with some cult that robbed this guy's mom. So like, he wasn't even like, it wasn't like, he was killed for being associated with a religion, not for anything he did as a politician, actually. Like, a lot of these cases of like political violence end up not being as political, and it's just somebody who just hates them for fucking some reason.
50,000.
Like, I'm still like pretty convinced that there's a pretty good chance that this is just gonna be some like right-wing guy who's mad that he's like not Hitler enough. Like, that's what the Trump assassination attempt. Like, the Trump assassination attempt, it ended up being that was like a right-wing guy that thought like Trump wasn't right-wing enough.
50,000 people die on the road every year. That's a price. You get rid of driving, you'd have 50,000 less auto fatalities. But we have decided that the benefit of driving, speed, accessibility, mobility, having products, services, is worth the cost of 50,000 people dying on the road. Wow. So we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. Right. You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, yes, by having more armed guards in front of schools.
His solution is more fathers in the home. No more divorce allowed. Listen to that again. Oh.
In the home, yes, you can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, yes, by having more armed guards in front of schools.
Armed guards in front of fucking schools? Like, it's a fucking dystopian reality that they imagine too, that they're like, we can reduce gun deaths by making it illegal to get divorced and having armed guards out front of the school. Dude, I don't know. That's what I'm like. It's not even normal opinions. It's like socially dangerous rules. These are anti-social fucking psychopathic opinions. Because ultimately, if we were to become the society that he preached for, I'm not allowed to exist. Like, there's a lot of things that would change. You're talking about no abortion ever, unless you're gonna die. Yeah, no, I mean that's what the right wing has just become vice signaling at this point.
We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe.
It's like, while I am ultimately rather just unsympathetic, I don't have empathy for someone who said we shouldn't have empathy. I probably feel bad for his family as much that they had to be around someone who had these opinions and thought this way of them. We could nationalize and regulate guns properly and send the private manufacturers to gulags that they refuse to give up their millions and billions of blood money profits. I mean, yeah, I mean that's the thing about guns is like, I don't mind the premise of people having guns. Guns is fine. I've been considering getting guns ever since we talked about banning firearms for just trans individuals for being mentally ill or whatever the fuck they're trying to say. It made me think like maybe it would be good if I had something. I don't know. I have been around I mean I like was born in Texas, so I've used a gun before. I just don't necessarily want to be the person who owns guns. I don't that's not my favorite thing in the world. Oh yeah.
So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at baseball games? We are
Wait, what? Oh, this is a great one. Y'all love this one.
allowing babies every single year to just say, you know, we're going to discard them. Why? Oh, they're smaller. They're not humans. You're using dehumanizing language saying, oh, it's an embryo. No, that's a baby made in the image of God, deserving of protection.
What do you do with those children once they're born into a bad household?
So now we've transitioned to, like, what do you do with the kids? You know, there's twice as many people on the adoption waiting list than there are abortions every single year. I'm advocating to make it easier to be able to
Misrepresenting
adopt,
a lot of
number one.
facts.
Number two, there's no such thing as an unwanted child.
It's like if there's no such thing as an unwanted child, and if there's twice as many people on adoption lists as there are children up for adoption, then why are there kids that never get adopted?
Child. Number three.
That's why, like, I've said that, like, I know that I'm going to be ultimately like infertile, and if I have a partner where we want to do that with, I will absolutely adopt an older kid. That's going to be what's going to happen. Someone who's like, I know people who've gone through the foster system and have been the older kid who never gets adopted. So like, I think that's some way you could actually make a positive impact in someone who's probably does not feel great. Generally a pro-gun leftist, but the difference between pro-gun leftists and rightists who want unlimited access to any and all weapons with zero oversight. And I think that's a licensing system and a better yeah. So I mean, like, I that's the one thing I think most Democrats will try to agree on, is that like having semi-auto rifles not a good thing. I'm pretty in favor of, like, outside of like handgun and hunting rifle, like we probably don't need much else. And proving on here, oh fuck, sorry, and I was dunking on Charlie Kirk here after going to our parents and them going on about how sad this is. Yeah, I mean, my mom called me and I said, it's kind of wild the Nazi died today, and she was like, no, he was a good Christian man. It's like I don't know where this thing, because I don't know where my mom had even heard of him before. So I think that's the thing, is a lot of people are hearing about him for the first time, or like hearing about him after not knowing the most about him. Yeah, that's the thing, is people typically use Christianity as an excuse to be a Nazi, which is really weird. But like, it's not like the Nazi party didn't have connections to religion.
It is never right to justify the mass elimination or termination of people under the guise of saying they're unwanted. That's how we get Auschwitz. That's how we get the greatest horrors of the 20th century. Those people are unwanted.
So you're comparing abortion to the Holocaust?
Absolutely, I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse.
It's really not. I don't
It's 45 million babies. It's nearly 8 times worse than the Holocaust. What's the moral difference between a small baby in the womb and a grown Jew who was killed at Auschwitz? What's the moral difference? One is older?
Is a person?
What species is the baby in the womb?
It's a human, but it's
therefore they should have human rights.
Hey, stop playing with your fanny pack.
And that's their whole thing, is they just try to say that a bundle of cells is a person.
In the wild, it's the
and before you have like conscious life, I don't think that's something you need to worry about. And I actually I personally, I've never paid for an abortion. I've never had to go through that. I've never had to have a partner that's gone through that. with me at least. It's not my my thing necessarily, but that is the woman's choice, or whoever can get pregnant. So I'm like, obviously anyone can get pregnant, but I was never the uterus haver, so I never was the one making that choice. And obviously, I've always just done what I can. It also is really easy to not get pregnant if you're just Oh God. That's the one thing I'm just like, yeah, I'm probably the one thing good about not being cis, I guess. Oh, this is a wild video. This is something I saw right before I went live, and I thought this was wild enough to share. This is moments after the shooting. And we kind of have this already in a way, but I'm more so just extending the privilege beyond weapon manufacturing and police. I think the barrier to entry should be reasonably strict and thorough. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. For some reason, people are saying that... I mean, if you've seen the video of him getting shot, you can tell there's no way he survived that. If you saw that happen, you knew he was gone. There's like... I don't know, like, I probably don't recommend you go and seek it out. I don't think it's available to watch anymore. I think it's gotten pulled a lot of places. There might be, like, people around that have copies of it, but it's definitely, like, getting hit and, like, a fucking 40 ounce of Gatorade blasts out your neck. And then we get to end on something that's probably funny. I have no idea. I haven't even been on this spectrum of the internet in a long time. But this is our memorial. This is how we send off the legendary. This is how we send off the legendary Charlie Kirk. Yesterday, in a violent act of cowardice, an assassin took Charlie Kirk's life. My heart goes out to his wife, his 2 children, and to his millions of loyal supporters. All proceeds from this song will be donated. So it's so heartwarming.
Shot down and he was barely 31. Another woke coward took a life with a gun. He left behind.
Okay, so it's been 1 second into the song, but we don't know who the gunman was, so we actually don't know if they're woke or not. And is it woke to murder someone? Because I would debate no.
And he was barely 31. Another woke coward took a life with a gun. He left behind a wife and a daughter and a son. All he did was try to speak for.
Oh, he's gonna claim me, isn't he? So I just stop making fun of it.
And the narratives, the patriots ain't dangerous. Woke people are the terrorists. They shot and killed the father, sent a message to Americans. They ain't gonna stop until they bury us. Dear Charlie, I don't know if you can see us now, but if heaven has a window, I sure hope you're looking down. Cause we ain't going quiet, we gon' scream your name loud, and you're gone, but I swear to God that we gon' make you proud. We ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more.
And they try to act like it's inspiring to be like, we're going to help keep Charlie Kirk's message alive. And the message is 13-year-olds should carry their rapist incest babies, and that gun deaths are actually good because it means you get to have guns, and no abortion should ever be ever because it's the Holocaust, or it's worse actually. these are the principles I will die for.
More deep than some political parties, and you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good men try to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us, the system is failing us when good men die for the things that they say. And I can't just be quiet, so I gotta be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day.
I just don't understand what there's like. Here's the thing: is that like we're scared that the people we're oppressing might fight back, so now we need to fight the fighting back. We have to fight the fighting back that we started by fighting. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you don't have to ditch out because of it. We're not listening to this because it's good. We're listening to this because it's fucking funny to laugh at.
Building cold blood for having a discussion.
Because I can't laugh at Charlie Kirk for dying, but I can laugh at Tom McDonald for making a song about it.
Liberals are celebrating murder like it's justice. You didn't kill a villain or the evil that it comes with. You killed a father and a husband. And I'm so tired of the left and all the wokery. We can't get along if you just kill us when we don't agree. Sniper rifle fire from a liberal that no one sees. Scared I might be next to die when I'm just buying groceries. Charlie, we'll make sure your children know that
The
defending
wokies.
you aren't coming
You know what Trump said, the wokies.
You can watch your children grow and hear your message echo from below. And we ain't backing off or giving up. I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties. And you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good men try to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us. The system is failing us when good men die.
It's like they do this whole thing where they're like, now there's been a couple trans people who've been shooters who've still been right wing.
Be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us.
And like a couple like kind of lefty or at least vaguely lefty people, but even then like it's so it's so disproportionate right wing Nazi guys from 4chan. Like it's so disproportionately, they're always fucking 4chaners.
At Harbor.
That's a weird thing too. Yeah, he's not even from America. But we pledge allegiance to Miku's America, and must we never forget all of those that have fallen before us, behind us. Miku will protect us. Miku loves the faggots, and Miku will keep us all around. I ain't going nowhere. Never forget. Never forget the bad people who are gone and will never come back. Just like the vice principal of my fucking high school that fucking sexually harassed me every day at school. Used to touch my ass. And he fucking died in a motorcycle accident. And I cheered that on, and people threatened me with violence because I said that piece of shit deserved to die. Sometimes people deserve to die. Like I said, I don't support gun violence at all. That's the downside. That's the conflicting thing here. Because ultimately, if this dude fucking died of cancer or died in a car accident, I'd be much happier. Honestly. That's the thing is like, ultimately it's been the whole time, all of the violence has been coming from the right wing. You have people who are now at their wits' ends defending themselves and going fight or flight over what the world is becoming right now. But I don't care about, I don't care what right wingers do. I'm okay with like being completely having nothing to do with them. The issue is they get fucking tired of each other and they have to come fuck with us. They have to try to pull us into these discussions when we don't want to have these discussions with them. Like we had the guy earlier that seemed like they were coming in and being like, maybe they weren't conservative. They could have just been like more libbed out. But, you know, I don't think you're going to find a lot of people who are even vaguely on the left, even centrists, who are going to condone gun violence. But when a bad person dies, I don't feel bad. And I'm not entirely convinced that someone who would act out in this way they're probably not a leftist. I mean, there's a possibility, but like I said, it's far more likely that this is someone who goes, Charlie Kirk fucked my wife, or Charlie Kirk fucked my husband. Who knows? It's more likely that something like that happened, or that it's like some weird right-winger who's mad that he's not right-wing enough. Like, people were saying, like, honestly, with the way that right-wingers work, he could have been assassinated for liking Israel too much or not liking Israel enough. Like, I mean, and it's like, I am surprised. Oh yeah, no, that was it. That was actually in our clip, our little clip session we had earlier. It's like we're fine. We're kind of over it now and into the end of the, like, we're gonna do our like prayers to the Miku flag and everything. It's been about an hour, which that's kind of what I planned, was about an hour for this session. I don't think they're gonna publish if they catch the guy either. Dude looked pretty Republican coded. Yeah, the picture I've seen. Well, I also heard that from a couple commentators that said there's a good chance that he is like had a disguise, because like also like ultimately it's better in that circumstance to be like in the MAGA hat with like a US flag shirt and everything, like even if you were not that way. Like, you would just probably fit in a lot with the crowd, like with the crowds that would be in that area. Yeah, empathy's not like that. The being that like empathy is a conspiracy to fuck up the world. It's like, I'm not the idea against a leftist rising up in arms, but it's just logistically very risky because the right wing have every aspect of society under their control, the government, the media. Yeah, I mean, like, that was the surprising thing that I saw, was how many of the media outlets immediately condoned everything, wouldn't say a bad thing about Charlie Kirk. They all seem to be almost defensive of him, like, yeah, you know, he just like this guy that like kind of disagreed with us, but it's like fine. And it's like, I mean, there's a lot of people that I can consider respecting as they pass. There's a lot of people that I disagree with that I don't have to disrespect on their way out. There's tons of people that I don't feel like at the point to like have to give reason for rejoice. Because like I said, I don't think that we should be rejoicing for gun violence necessarily. That's a very American thing. It's never good. But sometimes a broken clock is right twice a day. That's kind of the way I look at it here, is that like gun violence is bad, but sometimes, rarely, you luck out and it's actually against someone that's deserving. Like, I mean, there was a school shooting in Colorado not far from me that literally happened the same day. And that's not something that anyone was talking about. Those kids deserve a lot more sympathy. Even the shooter, all of them would deserve more sympathy than anyone involved with the Charlie Kirk situation. I don't even know anything about the shooter, but I'm just like, at least it's a 16-year-old. That's sad. Yeah, I know there was somebody saying that there was like they had something trans rights on a bullet casing or something. But yeah, it's been allegedly, and no one was saying allegedly, which was a little bit annoying to me. But I mean, whatever. The cognitive dissonance is the Christian right wing is that empathy and compassion are bad, but still want to turn America into a Christian nation. If America was modeled under Christ's words, we would welcome all immigrants, share food or resources with everyone. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think, yeah, I did hear there were more school shootings. I heard there was maybe a shooting that happened in Michigan and UMass. Hey Nemo, hello, welcome in. We're on we're kind of at the end of our thing, but we had our little presentation about why there was another one in Colorado today. There's been a lot of, like, honestly, there's been a lot more gun violence, it appears. Like, that's what's been happening. What was it? I think yesterday. So I'm like, it was in Evergreen, which, like, that's like almost an hour away from me. They keep on saying it's like Denver, but it's like, no, I mean, that's like an hour west into the mountains. Like, that's a bit of a drive. But also I know that it goes from, they had him transported from Evergreen to Lakewood. And I used to live in Lakewood. Lakewood's not necessarily close to Evergreen either. That's a good 30, 40 minutes still. So that's a whole mess, especially when they have to be transported so far to be able to get critical care. Like, I'm assuming they had to have whatever helicopter service. Like, they had to probably fly them in. People from Colorado, not from Colorado, only know Denver. Yeah, I mean, I'd say, like, I think some people know Colorado Springs a little bit too. Colorado Springs is like an hour south, and it's like where all the religious shit is. Yeah, I think there was one. I think wasn't there? I think I remember hearing there was 2 deaths. One of them was including the shooter. But maybe I heard that wrong. Maybe it was 2 injured and then the shooter. Let me see here. Only the shooter. Okay, so maybe I missed that one. Okay, that's I mean. Whew. Two injured and 1 hurt while running. Yeah, I think okay. That makes sense. Okay, so I guess we're done with Never Froget. Yeah, that's what I'm like, that's a little bit unfortunate, or that's a little bit fortunate. The Boston one, at least what I remember hearing about the Boston one, the UMass, I think it was a false thing. Like, there wasn't really anything that was immediately figured out. Like, there wasn't a shooting or anything. If there was a gunshot, it was just like someone shot a gun in the air or something. Just finished writing my resignation weeks. Hell yeah. Oh, sucks. Yeah, I mean, well, we're gonna have the VOD, and I'll probably upload it to YouTube. We'll see if they if YouTube will let me do it, just because I have this. I like, there's part of me that wonders if this was too far to have the 9/11 background like this. But, like, YOLO, you got to do something. You got to take some risks. Sometimes you have to have some artistic liberty. And then we've got, like, the Miku, the US flag. We like I said, Miku protects her faggots. All you have to do is join our queer frog alliance, and me and Miku's beam will protect all of the little baby faggots. Oh God, we've got an ad break coming soon. I'm gonna snooze that ad break. So I guess see, I should. Oh wait, it actually is exactly on time. Oh shit. We have one more minute, and then we move over to the 12th, and we get to release music. We have our newest EP of video game inspired hyper pop punk covers is going to go live on Bandcamp, like right now, basically. I mean, if it got auto mounted, I would allow it. That's the thing. Holy shit. Wait, why does it not play? Wait, hold on. Wait, why are they being weird? Wait. I gotta make sure it works real quick, actually. But now we are... Give the Zelda. And... We're gonna play some Fortnite because... Binding of Isaac stuff was added today. So I obviously had to get it. Oh, is it updating in-game? Give us the Zelda. What you mean about the Zelda? Wait, is it just not playing right now? Or is my computer being weird?